Well, with 30 days to go, what do voters really want to hear in these final few weeks? And what do President Obama and Mitt Romney need to do to clinch the White House? Ferd O'Connell is chairman of Civic Forum PAC and former outreach director for John McCain for president. And Julie Roginsky is a former political advisor to Democratic New Jersey Senator Frank Lautenberg and also a Fox News contributor. Ford and Julie, welcome.
Thanks so much.
Thank you for having us.
Ford, let me start with you. You just heard John Roberts say that both sides have attack ads out calling each other liars, basically. How did the voters sort this out?
Well, you know, as Mississippi Governor Haley Barbour is fond of saying, it's not rocket science. Voters want Mitt Romney to convince them that he has a plan to make America recover faster than President Obama, and that his policies, on balance, will improve the lives of all Americans over the next 4 years. And he's really effective at doing this when he draws contrast between the president's failed policies and what he would do differently, while simultaneously reinforcing it by saying, hey, I'm a principled but practical candidate, and I'm willing to work across party lines to to fix America's most pressing problems.
And Julie, what does the president need to do to, especially to bounce back after that debate?
Right. Well, the president needs to do what he's been doing for all along, which essentially, you saw him leading in the polls for a reason, and that's because the president's campaign has been incredibly effective in going into these swing states and convincing voters of the fact that Mitt Romney is not somebody to be trusted, that nothing in Mitt Romney's record, either as governor of Massachusetts or at Bain Capital, is something that would reflect well in the presidency. And that's something the president's done. Look, I will be the first to say he bombed that debate. It was abysmal. It was a really horrible performance. But there's a few more debates left. I'm sure he won't be caught flat-footed again this time around. And basically, the dynamics of the race really haven't shifted. If you look at these polls in the swing states, the dynamics have not shifted, and the president just needs to keep at it and keep doing what he's been doing all along, which is explaining to the voters why 4 years from now we'll be better off than we are today, and why today we're much better off than we were 4 years ago.
Julie, that's not true. The polls are showing that Mitt Romney is getting a significant boost from his debate performance. And frankly, if the president is going to sit out there and say we need to stay the course with a stagnant economy, that's not going to be a winning message. If Governor Romney continues to say, hey, I have a plan to, make America recover faster than the president, who's proposing more of the same.
I guess you're right if, in fact, Mitt Romney had a plan that he's talking about. But the problem with Mitt Romney is he's saying stuff that he's not backing up. The problem
he has a 5-point plan.
The 5-point plan has no,
59-point plan over 160 pages.
Do not interrupt me. The 5-point plan has no substance behind it, no basis behind it. The 5-point plan has nothing statistically to back it up. I can have a 5-point plan.
That's not true. That's not true. When we are talking about energy independence, we are talking about job creation.
Julie, let Ford talk.
The president doesn't have a plan. He's trying to say, let's stay the course. And if you want to tout mediocrity in a stagnant economy, that's fine. The voters know that we can do better, and Mitt Romney's out there trying to press the case. And not only that, he's saying, unlike the president, particularly with Obamacare, I am principled but practical, and I want to work across party lines as I did in Massachusetts, because essentially, if we don't work across party lines, we're not going to fix America's problems. Well, you guys just are proposing more of the same.
Well, Ford, I don't know if you lived in Massachusetts. I did, as a matter of fact, when Mitt Romney was running.
I worked in the Massachusetts State Senate, so nice try.
And I will tell you this. First of all, the New York Times had a great story about how Mitt Romney's bipartisanship in Massachusetts is completely false. But secondly, more importantly, Mitt Romney wants to come in, completely get rid of every provision of Obamacare, including the voters, the components that voters support, including the parts that would prevent you from getting thrown off your insurance if you have a pre-existing condition, including the parts that say that if I get cancer, you won't be able to throw me off your insurance.
Julie, I'm glad that the New York Times can carry the water for you. I worked in the Massachusetts State Senate. Let me tell you something. There's about 8 Republicans in the state of Massachusetts, so just to breathe, as an executive, you have to work across party lines.
Okay,
Stop distorting the truth, deceiving the voter, and let's talk about the future.
Or you can yell over me all you want, and I guess that's the way you think you're going to score points, but if you would let me speak, I would be the first to tell you that the problem from Mitt Romney's so-called 5-point plan that you keep pointing to has absolutely no substance behind it whatsoever. I can talk about energy independence, I can talk about tax cuts, I can talk about balancing the budget, but if I don't give you specifics as to how I'm going to accomplish that, and the nonpartisan tax policy center, which Mitt Romney had no problem citing during the primaries to back his case up, said point blank that there is no way in the world that the arithmetic adds up for him. Now, he can go ahead and keep saying that, But if you have independent people verifying the fact that there's nothing backing up the statistics, you can keep talking and spinning all you want.
The arithmetic, Julie, the arithmetic is going to add up, Julie, when we close these loopholes.
Which one?
And we get the needed revenue.
Which one?
Julie, hold on. Julie, you're attacking me. Understand something, Julie. To work across party lines, it's hard to tout the specific loopholes because Mitt Romney knows he has to negotiate not only with the Democrats but with his own party to make this happen. Julie, you're touting falsehoods. We know that if we close those loopholes and drop the tax rate, we're going to have the needed revenue. All you want to do is my favorite is the president's, hey, I'm going to pay down the deficit by taking money that I borrowed for 2 wars to essentially borrow it again to pay it down. That is absolutely ridiculous. You would mystify Enron accountants with that kind of math.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you just see right now that these Republicans have absolutely nothing to back up which loopholes they will close. They will not give the voters one specific about one loophole that they will close. And you have the temerity to say that he'll negotiate with Congress. He's the executive. He should have a proposal to tell us how he's going to accomplish what
You mean like the president's non-existent proposal, Julie? Come on, you guys are touting more of the same and not willing to work it all across the
Name one loophole, please. Name one. Go ahead, name one. Just one. Just one of these loopholes that are going to balance the budget.
Wait a minute. Slow it up.
Julie, understand something. We have, okay, I'll give you one that would be great to cut, is frankly the homeowner's mortgage deduction. Look, we all know that there's plenty of loopholes out there, and they do need to be closed. But to make this happen, we're going to have to negotiate across both party lines because, as we all know, the loopholes are in there because both parties have an interest in having that loophole in here.
If you want to get rid of the homeowner's deduction, man, talk about a sizzle factor that'll.
No, that's absolutely true, but we have to be honest about what it's going to take to fix America's problems. And I hate to tell you that President Obama is not being realistic. He's not being practical about the situation. And Mitt Romney's starting to. I do think he's probably going to have to provide a few more specifics to keep the naysayers like the New York Times and Julie at bay. But at the end of the day, he's the only one who's saying, guess what, guys? Staying the course is not going to work. And President Obama's offering more of the same.
If Mitt Romney's telling me that I can't deduct my home mortgage insurance now as my home mortgage as a middle-class person, then that's great. I hope to God he runs on your platform.
I have a feeling that it's going to be among those who are in the top 1%, Julie. So don't try to get back to the middle class. Mitt Romney's doing better with middle-class voters.
All right, well, thank you for telling us Mitt Romney supports that.
October 16th is the next debate. Maybe this one will wake up the president a little more after we saw what we just saw on television. Julie and Ford, thank you so much.
Thank you, Eric.